I realized my husband was cheating on me when he started smiling at his phone like nobody was waiting for him at home. My name is Emily. I'm 31. My husband's name was Jason, and if you had asked him back then why he did it, he probably would have shrugged and said something like, "I still come home, don't I?" That was the whole logic for him. He paid the mortgage. He remembered the kids' birthdays. Sometimes he brought me coffee on Sunday mornings. In his mind, that should have covered everything else. The late-night texts with other women, the excuses about working late, the deleted messages, the smell of someone else on his shirt. He called all of that stupid stuff. One night, I asked him directly, "Is there someone else?" He didn't even look scared. He just looked tired, like I had ruined the evening again. "Emily, please. Don't start." And I went quiet. That was my first mistake. I didn't go quiet because I believed him. I went quiet because I was scared to hear the truth out loud. We met in college in Ohio. Jason was the kind of guy who knew how to make everyone around him feel special. He could remember some tiny thing you said 2 weeks earlier and bring it up later just to make you smile. I thought that meant he was deep. Later, I understood it was a skill. He always knew exactly what to say to a woman to make her feel chosen. When we got married, I was 24. I believed love meant two people holding on to each other even when things got boring, difficult, and uncomfortable. Jason seemed to believe something different. To him, love was the house he could come back to after doing whatever he wanted outside of it. The first time, I found a message from a woman named Madison. "I miss your hands." I sat on the edge of our bed and stared at those words for so long the screen went dark by itself. Nothing exploded inside me. It was quiet. Too quiet. Like some part of me had walked out of the room and never came back. When Jason saw his phone in my hand, he didn't panic. He sat beside me and started talking in that calm voice of his. He told me it meant nothing. He told me he loved me. He said men do dumb things sometimes. He said I was overthinking it. The strangest part was how confident he sounded, like I was supposed to feel relieved. I asked him, "Did you sleep with her?" He looked away for 1 second. "Just one." That was enough. Then came the promises. Flowers. Long messages. Breakfasts he suddenly started making. He picked the kids up from school, washed the dishes, kissed my shoulder when he walked past me. I wanted to believe he was afraid of losing me. Now I think he was just afraid of losing his comfortable life. 3 months later, I found out about Lauren. Then Katie. And another woman whose name I never wanted to remember. The worst part wasn't even that he cheated. The worst part was watching how easily he split his life into pieces. Here was his wife, his kids, the Christmas family photos. Over there were the texts, the hotels, the compliments that used to belong to me. When I cried, he got annoyed. When I asked questions, he said I was digging up the past. When I stopped asking questions, he thought he had won. And that was when something inside me changed. I stopped checking his phone. I stopped waiting by the window. I stopped asking where he had been. I just started putting myself back together piece by piece while he was sure I had finally calmed down. I opened a separate bank account. I found a lawyer. I rented a small house in another neighborhood, close to the kids' school. I told my sister Claire everything, and for the first time in a long time, she didn't say, "Think about the family." She said, "I'll be there Saturday." Jason didn't notice a thing. On Friday night, he came home late. He was wearing the gray jacket I had given him for our anniversary. He dropped his keys on the table, kissed the kids on the tops of their heads, and asked what we were having for dinner. I looked at him and suddenly realized I didn't hate him anymore. I didn't feel much at all. And somehow, that scared me more than anger ever had. The next morning, he woke up and half the house was already gone. The kids' clothes, my documents, the pictures of my mom, my favorite mug with the crack in the handle. I left only one envelope on the kitchen table. Inside were copies of the divorce papers and a note. "You were so sure you could always come home. But home can leave too." He called me 27 times that first day. Then he showed up at Claire's house. He stood by his car with red eyes, saying he understood everything now. He said it was a mistake. He said something was wrong with him. He said I was the love of his life. I listened, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel responsible for saving him from the consequences of his own choices. Emily, please, he said. I'll fix it. I answered, you didn't want to fix it while I was breaking. You only wanted to fix it when your life started falling apart. He cried. Really cried. Before, I would have rushed to him. I would have held him. I would have believed his tears meant love. That day, I just closed the door. The divorce took almost a year. Jason went back and forth between begging, getting angry, trying to be the perfect father, and disappearing for days at a time. He told our mutual friends I had destroyed our family over mistakes we could have gotten through. I stayed quiet, because I knew he was calling it a mistake when it had been a choice he made again and again. 2 years have passed. Recently, he sent me a letter. A real one on paper. I found it in the mailbox one evening after the kids were asleep. He wrote that he finally understood what his love had looked like. He wrote that he had treated my loyalty like something free. He said he used to think betrayal only counted if a man actually left. Then I read the line that made me sit on the hallway floor for a long time. I didn't lose you the day you left. I lost you every time I came home and thought that was enough. I didn't write back. Not because I wanted to punish him. Some letters just arrive too late. Some apologies are no longer looking for a way back. They just sit in your hands like proof that someone finally understood the value of what they threw away. Jason lives alone now. The kids love him, and I never stand in the way of that. But sometimes, when he drops them off, I see the way his eyes linger on our porch. The new door. The new flowers by the steps. The life he no longer has a key to. And in those moments, I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. Because he wasn't a monster. He was a man who believed for too long that a woman's love could survive anything as long as he brought her coffee sometimes and said, "But I came home." Love doesn't die all at once. It watches. It waits. It forgives. And then one day, it quietly packs its things and never looks back.